Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm so excited to have you here with us today.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Thank you for joining us. In this podcast, we dive into topics that help you grow, both personally and professionally.
Today, we're discussing something that affects every single one of us: how to control your mind. Think about it. How many times have you felt overwhelmed by negative thoughts or found it hard to focus?
Exactly. The mind is so powerful, but if we don't learn how to manage it, it can control us instead of the other way around. That's why this is such an important topic for personal growth.
Controlling your mind doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or being perfect. It's about developing tools and habits that help you stay calm, focused, and in charge of your thoughts, especially during challenging times.
And we'll explore all of that today. We'll discuss what it really means to control your mind, the challenges people face, and some practical techniques you can start using right away.
Before we dive in, remember to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And if you find this helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit.
All right, let's get started. Jason, why don't we begin by talking about what it really means to control your mind?
So, Julia, let's start by unpacking what it actually means to control your mind. When people hear that phrase, they might think of something complicated or even impossible. But in reality, controlling your mind is about being aware of your thoughts and managing how you respond to them.
That's right, Jason. Our minds are constantly active, processing thousands of thoughts every day. Some of those thoughts are positive, but many can be negative or distracting. Controlling your mind doesn't mean stopping those thoughts. It means learning to direct your attention to what matters most.
Exactly. It's like steering a car. Your thoughts are the road and your mind is the driver. If you don't take control, you'll veer off course or even crash. But when you're in charge, you can choose the right path and avoid obstacles.
A great way to think about this is by understanding the connection between our thoughts, emotions, and actions. For example, a negative thought can make you feel stressed or anxious, which might lead to unhelpful behaviors like procrastination.
And that cycle can become automatic if we're not careful. But the good news is that with awareness and practice, we can break that cycle. When you control your mind, you're essentially retraining it to focus on the present moment and stay aligned with your goals.
It's also important to understand that controlling your mind isn't about ignoring your feelings. It's about creating space to observe them without letting them take over. That's where techniques like mindfulness and meditation come in, which we'll talk more about later.
Absolutely. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that the more you practice managing your thoughts, the easier it becomes. It's like building a muscle. The stronger it gets, the more resilient you become to distractions and negativity.
That's such an empowering idea, Jason. Now that we understand what it means to control the mind, let's talk about some common challenges people face when they try to do it.
So, Julia, now that we've talked about what it means to control your mind, let's dive into the challenges. Because let's face it, knowing what to do and actually doing it are two very different things.
Absolutely, Jason. One of the biggest challenges people face is distractions. In today's world, we're surrounded by notifications, social media, and constant demands on our attention. It's no wonder our minds are always jumping from one thing to another.
That's so true. Another challenge is negative self-talk. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't do this"? Those kinds of thoughts can take over and make it really hard to stay focused or confident.
Yes, and they often lead to another common challenge: overthinking. People tend to replay past mistakes or worry about the future, which creates a loop of stress and anxiety. It's like being stuck in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink.
And let's not forget about where stress and emotional overwhelm. When life throws challenges at us, it's easy to feel like our minds are spiraling out of control. At those moments, it can be really hard to focus or make rational decisions.
Another one I've noticed is lack of awareness. A lot of people don't even realize they're caught in negative thought patterns until it's too late. It takes practice to recognize when your mind is wandering or when you're letting your emotions take over.
That's a great point, Julia. And I think one more challenge we should mention is impatience. Many people expect to see results overnight. They try techniques like meditation or mindfulness for a few days, and when they don't feel a big change, they give up.
It's true. Controlling your mind is a skill that takes time and consistency. But here's the good news. No matter what challenges you're facing, there are practical techniques that can help you overcome them.
That's exactly what we're going to talk about next. We'll dive into some effective strategies you can start using today to take charge of your mind. All right, now let's get to the good part. Practical techniques to control your mind. These are simple strategies you can use in your daily life to take charge of your thoughts and emotions.
Yes. And the best part is that anyone can do them, no matter how busy or stressed you are. Jason, why don't you start with one of your favorite techniques?
Sure, one of the most effective techniques is mindfulness. This is all about staying present in the moment. When your mind starts racing, try to focus on your breathing or notice the sensations around you. It can be as simple as feeling the texture of your clothes or the warmth of the sun.
That's a great one. Another technique I love is meditation. You don't need to sit in silence for hours. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. There are apps and guided meditations that make it super easy to get started.
Absolutely. And if meditation feels overwhelming at first, you can try deep breathing exercises. For example, the 4-7-8 technique. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. It's a quick way to calm your mind and reduce stress.
That's such a powerful tool. Another strategy is positive self-talk. When you notice negative thoughts creeping in, try to replace them with affirmations. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," tell yourself, "I'm capable and I can figure this out."
I love that. Here's another one, journaling. Writing down your thoughts can help you process them and identify patterns. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try writing a list of what's bothering you and then note one small action you can take to address each issue.
That's such a practical tip. And for those who feel stuck in a loop of overthinking, try the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It brings you back to the present moment.
That's brilliant, Julia. Another simple yet effective technique is practicing gratitude. Every morning or before bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's going right.
Gratitude is such a game changer. And lastly, I'd say create a routine that includes also regular physical activity. Exercise not only boosts your physical health, but also helps clear your mind and reduce anxiety.
Great point. All of these techniques are powerful, but the key is consistency. You don't need to do all of them at once. Start with 1 or 2 and build from there.
Exactly. Small, consistent steps can lead to big changes over time. And remember, controlling your mind is a journey, not a destination.
Well said, Julia. Next, let's talk about the benefits of controlling your mind. Because once you start practicing these techniques, the results can be life-changing. Now that we've talked about practical techniques to control your mind, let's explore why it's all worth it. Julia, what would you say are the biggest benefits of mastering this skill?
There are so many, Jason. One of the most immediate benefits is reduced stress and anxiety. When you learn to manage your thoughts, you can stop spiraling into worry and focus on what you can control.
That's so true. Another huge benefit is improved focus and productivity. When you're not constantly distracted by unhelpful thoughts, you can give your full attention to the tasks that matter most, whether it's work, relationships, or personal goals.
Exactly. And controlling your mind also helps with emotional resilience. Life will always have challenges, but when you can manage your emotions, you're better equipped to handle setbacks and bounce back stronger.
That's a powerful point. I'd add that it improves your relationships on too. When you're in control of your mind, you're more present with others, more patient, and better at communicating without letting emotions take over.
Absolutely. Another benefit is better decision making. When you're calm and focused, you can evaluate situations more clearly and make choices that align with your values and goals.
And let's not forget about the impact on your overall well-being. Controlling your mind can lead to better sleep, higher self-esteem, and even a stronger immune system because you're reducing stress on your body.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is, isn't it? And the best part is that the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Over time, you develop a sense of inner peace that helps you navigate life's ups and downs with confidence.
Well said, Julia. These benefits show just how transformative controlling your mind can be. Now let's wrap things up with some final thoughts and a challenge for our listeners to put these ideas into practice. All right, Julia, we've covered a lot today. What it means to control your mind, the challenges, practical techniques, and the amazing benefits. But none of this will make a difference unless our listeners take action.
That's so true, Jason. So here's our challenge to you. Pick just one technique we talked about today. Whether it's mindfulness, journaling, or positive self-talk, commit to practicing it every day for the next week.
Exactly. Start small and be consistent. And don't forget to celebrate your progress, even if it feels like a tiny step. Every bit counts when you're building a healthier, more focused mind.
We'd also love to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments below. What challenges are you facing and which techniques are helping you the most? Let's create a community where we support and learn from each other.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more content to inspire and empower you.
That's right. We're here to help you grow one step at a time. So take charge of your mind and watch how it transforms your life.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Personal Growth Talks podcast. Until next time, remember, you have the power to control your mind and create the life you want.
See you next time.